Welcome everyone to this teaser video for my SPC conference session. It's going to be in Vegas, as you all know. We have a huge lineup of speakers. Being in Vegas, we're going to have plenty of activities like we always have in the past couple of years. And so I am Chris Gibbons. I am going to be giving a couple different presentations, as you can see here. This particular video is focused on the Yammer session, and that is building futuristic search applications using Yammer, SharePoint, and Kinect. And one of the things we want to do as part of that session is to demonstrate how I can take something like Yammer and I can take something like SharePoint and merge those two things together, and then be able to build an application such as with the Kinect, and not just in a consumer world but in a business world. And so a lot of you are going to be familiar with this particular device. It is the Xbox 360 Kinect sensors. This is the older device. And for those of you that have actually went off and bought the Xbox One, here is that particular device. And so this, as you can see, has a nice little logo. It really only has this one eye here. Everything's kind of integrated, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the middle too. So this is the Xbox One sensor. If you were a part of the pre-release program, you get this Windows Kinect sensor, which, as you can see, they've kind of tricked it out with a bunch of stickers and everything. But the goal is I want to be able to take Yammer, I want to take SharePoint, and I want to be able to use this device to actually build applications that make business sense. And so I'm going to show you how to do some of that, and especially with some of the 3D things that we can do. So I'm going to give you a couple of teasers about how I've integrated Yammer with SharePoint, and then I'll give you a quick sneak peek at the actual app that I've built for this entire demo. Here is a basic search service application. As you notice, I've used our sansbug.org site, which is our local SharePoint user group site, to create a search page. And what we've done is I've created a indexer component for search that will go and index our Yammer. Now, when I actually do Yammer in our environment, I see a lot of different presentations over the years that we've uploaded to our Sansbug site for our members. But what you'll see if I put something a little more meaningful in there and I say I want to see the paths that relate to Yammer and do a search, this current version of this tool, what's showing is just the links, but as you can see here, this is a message that points over to Yammer. The whole thing has been indexed. If I click on it, as long as I'm logged into Yammer, it's going to take me directly to the actual link, the actual message conversation that's going on in Yammer. If I jump back, we'll see that if I scroll down through, I've indexed quite a few things in here, including the messages, the users, any topics. It'll grab different files, any documents that might be showing up in here are also indexed, any notes that people have tagged. All of these particular items show up. So if we were to click on my name, it's going to take me straight to my page that exists for me, and I see all of this interesting items that are showing up in here. So all of my Yammer content has been indexed from my enterprise search for my enterprise edition of Yammer, and so that all shows up locally here. And so that's one step of what I'm going to discuss in my session. The second particular aspect of it is talking about the actual Kinect, and once I have all my content sitting in SharePoint, how might I use that content through REST APIs and search to build very cool looking search applications. This next part of the video that I'm going to preview a lot of the stuff is the futuristic UI that I've been working on. It's not quite done yet, still have another 6 weeks or so to the conference, so a lot of things have to be done. But as you can see here, right now it's kind of tough to do a video demo of Yammer and Kinect and all that stuff integrated with me moving everything around and recording at the same time. So I'm going to use the mouse here. I could also easily use voice commands to jump around in each of these things, but the idea is that with the Kinect sensor you also have facial recognition, so I'd be able to register. Unfortunately, that particular aspect is not released for the Kinect for Windows just yet, but in a type of a UI where I'd want to go and say I want to search for stuff, or I want to show BI type of reports, you'd be able to highlight over this or say the name, search, reports, and it would actually go into each of these items, and that'll be a part of the demo I do. If we click on search, you'll see that I now have the ability to highlight over any of these buttons, whether it's SharePoint, the conversations that exist, Yammer, people, Bing. In this case, I could go over to SharePoint, and it's going to ask me what would I like to search SharePoint for. So we could say something like Yammer. Unfortunately, the fonts are a little bit off, but by executing this, it tells me to return 10 results simply because the JSON I'm limiting to 10. And it's going to go and kind of format those results and show them in a way such that we can actually highlight over any of these, and it'll actually take us to that particular item. So right now you see these results are not formatted properly, but you will get to see a lot more about this, and I'll get a lot more different changes, and some of these things will actually be in 3D versus 2D whenever we get to the full demo. So these are some of the things you can do, searching for people, searching Bing with the Kinect, doing BI reports, doing facial recognition. Those are all really neat items that we want to explore as part of this SPC405